Wait, hey, hello there. It's Crown Vic from the Palace once again. Coming at you with 5 spiritual life hacks for a better life. Excuse me, I'm reading off the article that I just published, and by the way, I'm gonna link that article in the description if you would like to read it for yourself. I wrote this article, and I'm gonna be reading it off and ad-libbing a little bit as well. All right, so this video is about 4 spiritual life hacks for a better life. All right, so I'm going to be talking about 4 things. The first thing I'm going to be talking about is prayer and how that is important. Meditation, how that's important. Self-control, how that is also important, as well as letting go. All right. See, these are the spiritual practices that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And let's begin. Number 1, prayer. I'm not very religious in a traditional sense. I do, however, have rituals and routines. Part of my morning and nightly routine consists of meditation, and the other has to do with affirmations or prayer. Although I'm not religious, I grew up with a religion and went to church twice a week until I was old enough to decide not to go. And COVID-19 pretty much put a nail in that coffin. With this in mind, I do have a biblical background. And you might hear me quote a few verses here and there as reference. In regards to my point about prayer, consider Matthew 7 verses 7. Where it says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you." Notice how it says ask. All right, goes back to prayer. All right. Prayer is nothing more than an affirmation to the I am self, which is within all of us, within us all. When the Bible says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one," I believe that the intention behind this is self-explanatory. The Lord is one consciousness, and that one consciousness is experiencing life through all living things, or pretty much all things in general. Whether you consider it alive or dead, it could be objects, inanimate objects. It is this one consciousness which is called on through prayer. When we call on this consciousness through prayer, it is important to understand what it is that we're praying for. Praying for material possessions, recognition, or anything outside of yourself might be considered fruitless in that it doesn't go anywhere because you're coming from a place of lack. The I am is fulfillment. This is what makes it good. Evil comes from a lack thereof. The lack of money creates jealousy, greed, and thievery. The lack of love creates tension, hatred, and fear, and chaos. It is from this place of lack that prayers cannot be answered, but it is fulfillment in knowing that these prayers have already been answered when they arrive, and is on their way, or upon arrival is what I meant to say right there. So I got a little typo. But what kind of prayers am I speaking on? I'm speaking on a prayer of love, wealth, health, and abundance. For these prayers to be answered requires becoming what is received by becoming a person who loves. So in other words, if you pray for love, you got to be a person of love. If you pray for wealth, you got to be a person who gives. If you pray for whatever it is that you're praying for, you have to already be it. You have to become that person who gives for wealth. And this doesn't always have to be cash in hand. This can be a simple smile. This could be a word of encouragement or friendly advice. Know that abundance has been received by opening your eyes to the endless opportunities that are out there. Pray for good things to have and know that it has already happened is the first life hack. All right, so the first life hack, once again, is prayer. You pray for it to happen and believe that it already has happened, and that prayer will manifest. The second thing that I want to talk to you about, the second life hack, is meditation. Why do we meditate? Is it to look good? Is it just to be silent and hum like we're eventually going to levitate and unlock the secret to life? Not quite. One might meditate for many different reasons, but the simplest answer for why we meditate is to be still. Be still, as the Bible says, and know that I am God. To still the mind and the consistent chatter, constant emotional ups and downs, and the constant thinking. Once we understand how powerful the mind is, we will pay closer attention to the way we think and feel in our day-to-day life. I made a previous video titled, I Saw Birds, which I recommend. Go check that out. I Saw Birds, which I recommend after watching this video for a better understanding of the power of the mind, or what I mean by the power of the mind. A common analogy used when referring to the mind is that it's like a monkey that swings from branch to branch. From branch to branch, from one branch to the next without a clear idea of where it's going or why it swings where it swings. The branches of this analogy are the thoughts that come up in our lives, many of which might be what psychologists call intrusive thoughts, right? These are unwanted thoughts, images, impulses, or urges that can occur spontaneously, or that can be cured, or that can be cured by external internal stimuli. These thoughts can also be fleeting ideas that we would like to take action on, only to be left behind for another branch that looks more appealing. So in other words, we have, if you pay attention to your thoughts, you have intrusive thoughts, which is not really, some might say is not really yours, or it's not really natural to you, but if the more you ponder under it, the stronger it becomes. It's almost like this one saying that says there's two wolves inside each of us. It's the good wolf and it's the bad wolf. The bad wolf is not necessarily bad in itself, it's just there's things that you don't want to think about. And the more you think about those things that you don't want to think about, the bigger it becomes, right? It becomes almost so big it becomes part of your personality. You think that is you, but in reality that good wolf is like a higher consciousness. It becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it's like you almost don't identify with it anymore. So which wolf do you want to feed? Meditation helps train the mind to focus on what it is that you want. This focus, by the way, is not limited to an idea. It might also include a picture or a feeling. I believe that it is our emotion which communicates to the universe. So it's like a signal, all right? How you feel, it's like a signal that pulsates out into the universe. This is what the universe hears and listens to. It doesn't listen to your thoughts and your analytical mind, what you think should happen. It's more about how you feel. Who are you? What are you aligned with? All right. So you got to understand how the universe thinks in order for you to communicate effectively with it. All right. So that's what it's pretty much all about. Like a signal, we send out the vibes into the universe, only for it to be returned to us through things, events, places, people, and situations. All right. So I want you to consider that. So if you think bad things are going to happen, those bad things may manifest through things, people, situations, and ideas. All right. So if you want good things to happen, you got to ponder on those thoughts constantly, almost like your life depends on it. All right. Almost like breathing. Like if you underwater, the only thing that you can think about if you're drowning is breathing. You got to constantly think about those good thoughts every single day throughout your day for those things to manifest. All right. For example, if you stub your toe in the morning and focus on the pain, more painful things may manifest through your day, such as sitting in traffic and being late for work. However, by focusing on peace through meditation, that peaceful experience may manifest in different ways throughout your day without any external effort from your behalf. All right, so we have to understand how the universe thinks and operates. And then the more you understand this, the less you have to work, in a sense. It's almost like the Wu-Wei flow. It says to go about life effortlessly. You can go about life effortlessly if you get in tune with who you really are. And then you focus on that, right? You focus on that and you focus on the good. And then therefore, good things may happen. All right, almost like coincidence or luck. Which, by the way, alchemy says there is no such thing as coincidence or luck. So take that into consideration. All right. So meditation is meditate on what you wish to experience. It's the second life hack. All right. That's life hack number 2. Life hack number 3 is self-control. If you've been following my channel, you probably heard me talk about NoFap quite a bit. Self-control has a lot to do with this, as it is through NoFap that I have the creative energy and willpower to present this video to you now. NoFap, as fairly new as this term may be, has been practiced for thousands of years. Ancient philosophers used to speak on the power of semen retention and allowing it to build up. To orgasm is to waste this potential energy. All right. So if you ever watch porn or you masturbated or something along those lines and you climax, right? You immediately sometimes feel tired. All right. It's like a shift in your consciousness. All right. So for example, you are really interested in maybe an image or something, and then you see that image and you climax, and then you look at it, like the memes go, you become disgusted by it. All right. And you probably think that you clear your mind, but not necessarily. And I can only speak for myself when I say this, that usually when you, like, say for example you do that and you do that every single day, you're no longer yourself. You know, you go out and you speak to people, you can barely look them in the eye. You don't have any confidence in yourself. You feel more anxious. At least I felt more anxious. I felt almost like how the world describes as anxiety. People always talk about anxiety, bad anxiety. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing to make that anxiety build up? You just want to say that the doctors say you're anxious, and then you go with whatever the doctors say. How do the doctors know for real? Like, you gotta think about this stuff. Like, the doctors only know so much. All right, what knows everything is the I am. And I promise you this: like, if you try this for yourself for at least for 1 month, right? No fat, semen retention, no sex, none of that stuff. All right, you would in porn, drugs, all that stuff. You just were staying. All right, you keep yourself from doing it in self-control. You start to retain that power, and you almost feel super powerful, almost like Superman, you know. And you have all this creative energy, and that's pretty much what I am. I'm not even sure how many days I'm on right now. I know it's been over a month, maybe 40 days or something. But I feel a lot stronger than I did, you know, previously. All right, so that's my experience when it comes to self-control. All right, so it is through self-control that I feel like I am able to allow myself to charge. You know, I almost feel like a battery. I'm fully charged. The longer I do this to activate my superpowers, I feel super powerful, almost like I got superpowers. Self-control, my friends, is the 3rd life hack. All right. Finally, the 4th life hack: letting go. Letting go. Sometimes you just gotta let things go and let God. All right. As the church say, let go and let God. Sometimes you gotta just let things go, and as the church folks say, let God. Sometimes I hate to use the word God because it comes with a lot of connotations. You know, often negative connotations for the people who have bad experience with religion or church. But when I use the term God, I'm simply referring to the I am, all right? Which is the presence in all things. Some might call it the universe, others might call it Allah or Yahweh, or even Jesus. Whichever it is that you choose to refer to this being as, this is what I mean when I use the term God. What do I mean by letting go and letting God? I simply mean to let go of your worries. Let go of your dreams. Let go of your expectations. Just let go. One of the ways I was able to be successful in NoFap, as long as I have, is because I simply let go of my addiction. I knew that God was smarter than me and more powerful than I was, and that I was powerless, essentially. And so what I ended up doing is I just ended up as I was meditating, I visualized the hand of God come down, and then I visualized the addiction that I had, I visualized me having the addiction in my hand and giving it to God. I give my worries, my stress, my dreams, and these expectations to God. If I want this dream to happen, I can't worry too much about how it's going to happen. I just got to give it to God. If I want something to happen, I can't worry about the outcome. I just got to give it to God. If I'm going through trials and tribulations, I can't worry about it because I got to give it to God. I give it to God because God is smarter than I am, smarter than I will ever be, smarter than any human being on this planet, all put together, because God created all things. And so therefore, why not give it to someone who is something that is greater than yourself? And that's simply what I mean by letting go and letting God. And as I did this, as I visualized the hand coming down, and giving it to something that's greater than myself, and I felt liberated. I felt as if all that stuff was gone, and sure enough, ever since then, I had no problems with what I was doing previously. All right, so addiction, expectation, and dreams can turn into someone we don't see. All this stuff can transform you into someone you don't recognize, to the point where you start doing it and you obsess over it for so long, you think it's really a part of yourself, and really that's the ego that you're building on. You're just building on the ego. And if we partake on this too long, we can confuse it for our identity or just the ego. But how do you know when you're lost and you need help, and you might need help? You will know by how you feel. That's an internal compass inside of all of us that points us into a particular direction. Does this path fulfill you? Does your path give you life, or does it take it away? Only you can answer this question. All right, so you answer this question. If you're going in a path that you think is right for you, is it giving you life, or is it giving you death? Only you can answer this question. So once again, let go. Letting go is the fourth spiritual life hack that I recommend to you on your life journey. I hope this helps. And if it helped you, subscribe, like, comment. And if it helped you, how did it help you? Share your story in the comments below. Once again, this is Crown Vic from the Palace. I thank you guys for tuning in and checking me out. Stay tuned for more.